You're listening to the Para House Entertainment Network. Come join us as we take you deep into the fire to the paranormal realms of hauntings, UFOs, ETs, alien abductions, strange creatures, and the vastness of universal consciousness as we continue to seek what is not supposed to exist as we search for the truth that only comes from going into the fire. Hey guys, and welcome all. Tonight we have a very special show here on Into the Fire that we're really waiting. We're very excited to have. But first of all, just welcome everybody again to another Into the Fire. We sure do appreciate your support. And we get to have the whole team is back tonight, and we want to welcome back Tanya and Billy Sims. It's great to have you all. Missed you guys. And golly, I love the pieces out of you all. So tell me what's going on.
Go for it. They got to see me last week.
I love that.
Well, we've kind of had a lot going on. And I just kind of took a little hiatus for a little while. And now I'm getting my stuff back together and get back online.
Yep. Well, it's awful good to see you too, honey. And we have got a great night for you to come back because, golly, we have got PRGI here tonight, Mark and Jason. And golly, I've got, we'll talk about them in just a second and have them on. But golly, it is great to have you guys back. Hello, chat room. We'll be coming to you here in a little bit and talking to you. I hope you're all ready for the night. I know that I see a few people in there already, and I'm sure it will be pounding up here quick, and we'll try to get back to you and say hi here in just a minute. But what I would like to do is I'm going to talk about two great individuals that have one of the best teams in what I consider in the paranormal fields. And they are a very, very elite group. They have my most utmost respect for all the years that I have been in this field and everything else. Look, if there's a paranormal team out there that is starting up, if there's someone out there that or has a team and needs some advice on how to handle an investigation properly, this is the team that you have to model yourself after. You know, I have been blessed to have Night Stalkers, and Night Stalkers is a great team. But when I think about the teams that I look at as some of the best out there, this team is on the top of the list, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. There is no finer people that you will find in the paranormal. And I'm talking about, of course, the wonderful and the great team that is called PGRI. I don't even know how long they've been doing it. I know that I've known them for at least over 12 years. And we follow each other, and it is just a wonderful thing. I've been trying to get them on the radio show here for the last 5 years. Tonight's the night where we get them on here, so I am just tickled pink, and I know that you guys are going to enjoy these guys. If you haven't bumped into them, do, because they are the ones that, when people look out and say, who do you look up to, Bear? These are the people that make my day. These are the people that I look back and go, the paranormal is a great place because there are great teams like this team. And that's, I'm going to say more and more about them because they're just awesome, But tonight, we're going to bring them right on here. And as I said, this is the group that I call one of the best paranormal teams out there. It is PGRI, the Paranormal Research and Ghost Investigation of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And they have been in all kinds of great places. We're going to hear some of their stories tonight and everything else. Tonight, we have one of the co-founders of the group with us, Mark Holland, and also the tech manager, Jason Henley. And we're going to talk about professionalism, equipment, techniques, and some awesome locations that they've gone to. And we're opening up to the chat room. So chat room, please get ready because these guys are going to field your questions. They'll take your stuff. And I hope you guys enjoy them as much as I have over the last 12 years watching these guys work, because they are a solid oiled machine. And I respect the hell out of them. So in that matter, brothers, I'm going to bring you on, and we're going to talk here in just a second. So I'll bring Mark on. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Hey.
And here's Jason. He's on here too. Guys, man, I wish I could say more about you guys. How long you guys actually been doing this now? I know, Mark, you've been doing it a week or two, haven't you?
About a week and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally have been doing this for 20 plus years. I did some things on my own, and I've always liked the research, especially the historical aspect that goes along with the paranormal history. And was sitting there thinking one night, and I thought, I could do what's going on in this world. Let me see if I can put a team together. So I called a friend of mine, AJ. This is almost 21 years ago now, and formed the team then, and we've been going ever since. And let me just say that very humbled by what you said, Bear. We think the world of you guys and Tanya and Billy. I mean, it's I hope we live up to those kind of expectations, and it's gonna be hard, but I'm very honored and humbled.
Yeah.
Well, my friends, it comes from my heart, and it's the truth. Anyone who is in this field has been able to watch or have experienced you at a location, or has been to an event that you were at or anything else, is just gets a gift that, when they look at it, and they look at you guys, they're looking at the top notch that there is. I mean, when you guys go into a place, and this has got a lot to do with Jason too, because he's a tech guy, you've got everything already pegged. You've got it already set up. You know where you're going. Yeah. You have researched everything. It's like the old group, and we hear it a lot from us, we're a family. You guys are a family. And they don't come very much like that all the time. We look for that, and we try to keep and strive for those people to be around. But you guys have done it for 21 years. And, it's a testament to good and hard work, because true paranormal investigation is a really rough thing to do, and to do it well. And you guys do it that way. And, I've seen you come at the hall. I mean, golly, how many years have you come to the hall? Every year?
Every year. Yep, every year.
And
sometimes twice a year.
You're right, exactly. And we're going to be, I won't mention the date because I don't want all these people just running all over the place when you guys are coming here, but it's going to be shortly. We're going to see you all up at the hall. And it's going to be a blessed day when that happens. I know we haven't seen each other since 2020 and 2021. Rough year for doing what we're doing, being out with people and all that stuff. But man, I know that you're going to be kicking it that night, and
Yes,
we'll have a great time. But when you guys go in, you already mapped out the location. You do your research. You've got it all. You already know where everything is going to go. You know what your plan is. And even when you do a two-nighter, that next day, you're sitting there planning out what you've got from the last night, where you're going to have the activity, where you want to be at, everything else. Tell me how it sets up. How the new teams out there and everything else, they just come in. We're going to do this. Tell me about the location. Tell me this. And that's all that it is. And there's a lot more to it, man. And
Right.
you guys are the ones that set the mark in that field. So
Well, we take the even in our acronym and in our team name, research, paranormal
Yes.
research, we take that to heart.
yeah,
Say for instance, and I know Tanya, Billy, Bear, you guys are familiar with this. Anyone out there who does, I think, what I call true paranormal investigations. Say if we're doing a home and it takes 3 hours, to investigate, because it's a smaller home,
hmm
we'll probably have 15 hours or more into the research.
yeah,
And actually, it's funny because I've got a couple of different plans. I've got actually the ones that we have already ready for Octagon Hall, excuse me, behind me. And I'll let Jason kind of talk you through our process of how do we come up with this. Now, I'm not an architect, and I did write this, so please don't judge me. But I'll let Jason kind
tried.
of walk you through our steps, how we get to this point, where that way when we get there, we know exactly who's setting up what equipment, where it's going. We have someone taking a running list, documenting where everything's at, especially for retrieval, so we don't forget anything. And it's just a very ordered process. But I'll let Jason walk you through the steps of how we get to that point where, okay, we take this, we're ready to follow this and set up for an investigation.
fantastic.
We do that, and then sometimes you got to adjust on the fly. Let's say we've got a DVR camera. Well, there's no electricity. So we got to run the cords, all that. That's the rough part of it. But we have a plan. We know where we're going to put everything that we have, whether it be the most wonderful investigation tools around, the little cat toys. Love those things.
Yeah,
We try to put those in front of all of our DVR cameras. That way, if something interacts with them, we've got it. We do a lot of planning, and like Mark said, over 15 hours for each place we go to. At least with Octagon, we already know a lot about it.
yeah.
We've been there. I've not been there as much as him or anybody else, but I think this year will be my third trip there, so
hmm
I'm just a baby at this. But just the planning stages and stuff is what's most fun. It's like practicing for sports. If you practice,
right.
you practice, and then the game is easy. You
That's
practice hard,
exactly
the
right.
game is easy. So, we'd like to have fun. We'd like to do, everything together when we're there. And just the planning stages is what I enjoy the most, I think.
Yeah,
And it's a hive
getting everything
mind.
ready.
It's not Jason making the plans. It's not Mark making the plans. It's the team. We're literally asking. I may be writing it, but it's like, okay, what
Right.
do we think are the
Right.
hot spots? Where do we want to put our wireless IR cams? If we have to run our corded cams, where are we going to put those? EVP recorders, where are they going? REM pods,
Right.
this and that. We're discussing it as a team. And I think that's one of the things that's really lended credence to our longevity.
hmm
Is it's even though I'm a co-founder, it's not me. I'm not the boss. The team
Yeah, sure.
is the boss. And when we have disagreements, and we do, they're always healthy conversation. If we're going to post evidence, if all of us don't say, yeah, that's unexplainable, then we won't post it.
No.
Yeah.
We only try to post the better part.
Mhm.
But again, it's that hive mind. It's that team mindset. And I tell you, if we got time, Bear, I think it's kind of a funny story how we came across Jason and how he became our tech manager.
I'd love to hear it.
We'll let Mr. And I say this lightheartedness and in all seriousness, and he'll explain. We'll let Mr. Used to be skeptic discuss his journey to being our tech manager.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
My wife and Mark started work together. at the job that they have, and was not into this stuff. I'd watch, a few TV shows, love horror movies, but I just could not get into paranormal stuff, and was like, she's wanting to go do it. I'm like, it's all fake. She wanted to go to St. Pittsburgh Hospital with Mark and his team. So I'm like, okay, I'll go. And, it ain't going to be no fun, but I'll go. So we get there. Not a whole lot is happening. And then right toward the end of the night, we are going down towards Shadow Hallway, right around where the car used to be.
Mhm.
Yep.
And
I love that area.
Me
I
too.
do too, man.
Yeah. I can stay the whole
So-
night just in that one area.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jason.
My
No,
favorite
dude, you're
thing is
fine.
to sit down in that hall and just sit.
Yes. So we're walking down through there, and Mark goes, "There was something that happened here a while ago. Let's see if it'll happen again." So I'm like, "It ain't gonna happen again because this stuff's fake, So he goes, "We've got some people here that have never seen anything. Can you please show them something?" And right down toward the end of the hallway, there's a street light that is shining into this hallway, and you can only see that light. So the light starts getting dark, and then it get bright, and it'll get dark again. So Mark's like, "Something's moving in front of that door." I was like, "There ain't nothing down there, So, when he goes, "That's cool. Can we see some more?" And then you start seeing this black mass start moving. And then he goes, "That's really cool. Can we see more?" Then you start seeing these two red eyes up at the top of the ceiling, and they start just going like this right here. And I'm like, what? So, it eventually stops doing that, and it comes on up to where we are. And when it hits that light where the car is, it just turns into like a gray, smoky mist. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this was just the greatest thing ever. And that hooked me. I was hooked.
Did that mist have a scent to it?
I didn't smell anything like how they say that the smoke is in that area. I didn't smell anything because we were probably about 20, 30 feet away from it at that moment. But they do say that there is a smell to the smoke.
there
There's
is.
Dr. Taylor.
There he is.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a
Now,
yeah.
I've smelled
rabbit
it.
weed.
I had went to talk to Ronnie down there the last time we went, and his girlfriend was up on the second floor. We were, well, I'm sorry, up on the third floor, and we were right around where the nurses station is, just talking. And she goes, "Come here, Dr. Taylor's here." So we take off running and go up there, and he goes, "You smell it?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a sweet smell, kind of like a Swisher Sweet, cigar smell." He goes, "That's rabbit weed." I
Yep.
was like, "Oh my gosh, I met Dr. Taylor." So
Yep.
that was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's what turned it around for me. That was in 2017, so it's been 5 years in May.
Mhm.
Well, man, you just keep going there, man. 'cause
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
I
gonna
will.
get better.
Yeah, it's an experience and a
It's great
half.
all the time. I love this stuff. I love this stuff.
And since we're speaking of the place, I will tell you guys now. Me and Ronnie D have talked, and you guys, he thinks very highly of you guys. So
Yeah, well,
Cool.
we think very highly of him as,
Yes, we
as
do.
well.
Yeah.
He's a grade A guy. To me, I'm glad they got the person at that place that's managing it correctly.
That really needed it.
And
Yeah.
he's
And
another
the
Yeah.
place
players.
right down, over on your side of the state. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've
Right.
been there every year, and it's almost been 5 years now. But it's like I don't know where to go. Everything is different now without the writings on the wall and the drawings. Because you could tell where you were by that. Okay, well, we're going
Yeah.
to put this down there next to that drawing of the cross or something.
Or the
I don't know. I
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
miss the
Yes,
I got a little,
yes.
I got a little secret for you, man. You
Uh-huh.
don't really have to go anywhere because if they're
No.
going to interact with you, it does not matter where you are at in that hospital. They
Yeah.
will come to you.
Mhm.
And they do it more when you're not paying attention to them, when you're not trying to communicate.
Yep.
They're going to be like, "Hey, I'm right here, talk to me." They do that all the time there, and that I
Mhm.
think that's what makes that place special too. Is
Oh yeah.
you know, they'll interact with you. They don't care. You know?
That brings us to a point, a topic that Bear and I have talked about on many occasions. We've talked about that exact, we're not even actively investigating. We're letting the equipment do the work.
Yeah.
And then you hear a voice, which has happened to Tanya, Billy. I know it's happened to you several times at Octagon Hall as well. We'll just be there in the dining room, and all of a sudden we'll just kind of look at each other. You hear that, we'll grin, and we'll go right back to our
Yep.
conversation.
Yep.
And for anyone starting out, one of the things I would recommend is get your team. It sounds crazy and it sounds childish, but get each person of your team to read a paragraph of something and record it on all your voice recorders. Get familiar with your team's voice,
Yes.
because there's always skeptics. You can, they can pop up right in front of somebody and they're still going to say, well, that was the wind or whatever. We ain't worried about those people. But build credibility, operate on trust and honesty, and your word will be good enough. And when you say, no, that wasn't any of us, people will believe you. But that comes with the integrity that you build for yourself, that you take in for yourself. And I think you have to have a sense of ownership and pride at every location you go to.
Yes, that's true.
Because it's not just the paranormal. Whatever your belief is, we think it's all energy based, and there may be different beliefs here, and that's cool. But it's still their home. We're guests.
Right.
And so don't go in provoking, don't go in challenging, don't go looking for a fight, because you might just get one that you can't win.
And it's really sad because there's so many teams like y'all, like us, there's so many of them that say the same thing. Don't go in with ill intent,
Right?
because when you do get it back, it's usually pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
it's no different than if Tanya and Billy came over to my house and they walked in and they both just had poor attitudes, were
Yep.
rude and aggressive in them talking.
Right.
Am I going to engage or interact with them? Am I even going to want them there? So what do you do when you don't want someone there? You ignore them.
Yeah, exactly.
Eventually they go away, right?
Or you
And
tell them to
these-
get out.
Yeah, exactly.
just show them the front door.
Yeah.
And sometimes even when you go in there with the right attitude, they'll still tell you to get out.
Hey, get out.
I always look at it like this. Say you're going out on the town for the night. You're going to a club or something. You know how there's always an individual somewhere in that bar or restaurant or wherever you're at, and you just look at them and you're like, I don't want no part of that person. They just put off that vibe.
Yeah.
And then there's always those that you just want to flood around.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Mhm.
I mean, if they don't want nothing to do with you,
They're not
They-
going
they're-
to.
Right, they're not going to. Yeah.
Right.
There's nothing that you can do to draw them to you
No.
if they already get that out of it. If you go in with a great attitude and you're not negative about it, they're going to come to you and they're going to let you know that they're there.
right.
Okay,
Definitely.
I have a question from Vicki Norris.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hey Vicky, how you doing? It's great to have you on tonight.
She said, I would like to know where is the most haunted or active place they've been, and what's their top 3 favorite places.
Besides
Wow.
Octagon Hall, and that will forever and always be my paranormal home. I've seen Mary Elizabeth. I've talked to her. She is something you alluded to earlier in an earlier conversation, Billy. She said, I love you, Mark. You know exactly what you were talking about. Makes it personal. So Octagon Hall, for me personally, it could be different for Jason, but for me personally, that's my paranormal home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally, if I had the means to uproot everything, I would love to go up there and just volunteer and help be a caretaker. That's how much I love the place and I love the people there. But for me personally, Octagon Hall will forever be number 1. Number 2, and I say this because of not only the frequency, but the consistency of things happening. continuous from the time we were setting up till the time we were breaking down, and activity still going on. Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I knew
Agree with that.
where you were
100%.
going.
Yeah, that place was off the chain, and
Yeah.
we had some phenomenal experiences there. And third, if I had to pick a third, that would be right up there, and we've only been there once. Would probably be the Lotes House
Mm-hmm.
in Nashville.
Speaking of which, Nikki Warp Edge, she loves you guys. She says y'all are the
Yeah.
greatest.
We love her too.
Oh, her and Thomas, you know, and we don't only kind of grade a place simply by the activity. It's the people, you know, are they cordial? Do they make you feel welcome, or do you feel like, you know, an intruding guest, you know? And I know we've all been places like that too, where the
Oh yeah.
quote unquote customer service just kind of puts you in a bad vibe before you even
Yeah.
walk in.
Don't talk about my poor customer service to everybody.
Yeah. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to get up there and see Bear after this when we get up there, and I'm going to get the bear hug.
Yeah.
I'll just be residing in Octagon Hall for the rest of my life. So it's
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thomas and Nikki and the Lotes had so much activity. We were doing a live session, and literally, as soon as we started live, 2 or 3 minutes in, we had activity at every location with every group of investigators, and I couldn't keep up with it. I would spend 2 or 3 minutes over here, and then something would
Yeah.
happen in the next room, and I would run down there, and then something would happen downstairs where Marty and Amanda were. So I'd run downstairs to them, and then I'd run. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So
And it was like you just turned the light switch on, and it just started. As soon as the live started, man, everything
Yeah.
started going crazy.
Yep.
So what about your top three that you've
Oh,
been to,
man.
Jason?
Top three, golly, that's hard. I would have to say probably my favorite place would have to be South Pittsburgh Hospital, since that's the place I've been to more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Because
that would
it's
be
so close,
3.8
it's-
for me.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
20 minutes from my house, so you know I love that place. Trans-Allegheny probably number one for me. I would love to go back there. That place was just, I had never seen a place that active in my entire life.
Yeah.
That I've years that I've been doing this, I should say, but
Yeah.
it was unreal. And you know, Octagon, it's got the trifecta, the paranormal trifecta. We've heard Sasquatches, we've heard UFOs or seen UFOs, we've seen the ghost stuff there. So, golly, but pick a top three. South Pittsburgh Hospital, Trans-Allegheny, and Octagon Hall for me, in that order.
And let me throw this out there too. And Billy, thank you for bringing up South Pittsburgh and everything good that Ronnie's done. For any teams out there that may have been to South Pittsburgh in the past and you haven't been since Ronnie took it over, you need to go.
Do
You need to
yourself a
meet this
favor and
man.
get there.
Yeah. Meet
Yep.
this man, meet his crew. They are top notch. That place is cleaner than you could have ever imagined it to be. And there's still activity just rampant there.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
highly, if I was going to tell someone, let's say if we were looking between Chattanooga and Kentucky, and somebody was saying, well, where would you go? If they live in Chattanooga, I'm telling them to go to South Pittsburgh every time.
Yep.
If they live up
Exactly.
towards Nashville, I'm telling them to go to Lotes every time. If they're living up, you know, towards the other end of Nashville, just drive 15 minutes, go to Octagon Hall.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
every time. And to me, that's how interactive and close those are.
I'm so glad that we live this close to everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Octagon Hall,
within
2-hour drive, you know, and we're there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the way AJ
Amazing.
drives, sometimes an hour and a half.
Half.
We're
Yeah.
always white as ghosts by the time we get there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. AJ is the other co-founder, and he is just an excellent. He's got a great sense of humor. He lets me beat him up all the time. I just love it. And we'd have had him on here, but
That's a great question. I got one from Frankie Lynn, and it's a great
Uh-huh.
question. She wants to know: have you had spirits that you encounter at one spot and then they pop up at another place that you might be investigating? I know we have. It
Yes.
happens all the time.
Yes, we have also actually what happened was there was a what we call a traveler, and that's our
Mhm.
label for it. Some other people
Yeah.
may call them a different name. We look at travelers as tourists,
Mhm.
as far as they stop for a while and then they go to another location and feed, then go to another location and feed and whatnot, and that's the way
Yep.
that's just our words. So I hope that doesn't offend anybody. Again, if you think something different, that's perfectly fine. We need differences in this field
Yes.
so that
Yeah.
we
That's how you
can
move
get to the right
forward.
answers. But we've had some travelers follow us, literally giving us the same answers, same voice on the EVP recorder. Even ask on a couple occasions, did you follow us from? One of them was yes, I did,
Oh
and then the other
yeah.
one was yes, Mark.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, that has happened, and we've experienced that as well. That's a really good question. I'm
Yes, it
glad you
was,
said that,
Frankie.
Billy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
Excellent
I,
question,
I
Frank.
would say if you've been doing it long enough, I think all of
You've
us
experienced it.
have been followed
Right.
at one time or another.
Yeah.
Would y'all agree?
Oh yeah. Oh
Absolutely.
yeah. It's and it gets. There's another side to that. Yes, we get followed. Yes, it's funny when it seems like some places we go and man, never been there, and the first thing you do is hit the door, and they're going, "Hi, Bear."
Yeah.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Jason. How you doing? And you're like going, "I heard that as plain as can be." Like what the heck?
And we
And
like to, when we go to places, we like to, when we first go in, just announce ourselves. Like every
yeah,
time we go to Octagon Hall, it's hello, Mr. and Mrs. Caldwell. Thank you for allowing us into your home.
yeah.
Lode's house, we did that. I think it's just a show of respect. And
Oh, it is.
it like Mark was saying earlier,
That's
you
one
be
of the
nice
first
to
things
them.
we always do. We
Yeah,
go around and we say hi, and
yeah,
Yeah.
not just in the around the property.
right.
You got to make your rounds.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You stop by and say hello wherever you go. And it's like for me, every time I walk, every day I walk in Nottingham Hall, I go, "Good morning. How's everybody doing? It's me, Bear. How's things? How was last night? How did you like the team last night?" And then
Hmm.
never fails. You may hear a morning. You may hear, get out.
And I tell myself, I
Yeah.
don't know when exactly this started, but I found that I've caught myself many times as I'm getting ready to say walk into a room. I'm saying hello and everything, but I'm also finding myself knocking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just that's not me barging in,
Right.
uninvited. That's me letting them know here I come.
Right.
And
And
because you approach it with that kind of respect, that's why you have the frequency and the level of activity
yes,
Right.
that
I mean
you
it's
do.
Right.
I'm a firm believer in that.
And it's
Yeah.
the energy you come with too.
yes.
If you
Exactly.
come in
That's
with
it.
a good, positive inner energy, it shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tanya, I got a question for you. Being
Okay.
the only female in this ugly male, male crew,
Entourage.
because this is not a sexist statement, but males and females experience things differently. It's literally chemically, genetically written, right? So for you, and some of the viewers may have heard this, but I know Jason and I haven't. What would be not only your top three, but what's one of the more unique experiences that you've had that was just really personal for you?
Experiences?
Mhm.
Think about that one.
I know.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
There's been a lot. I've been around this my entire life. So see things, hear things, and there's so many.
And it's hard when you're on the spot trying
Yeah.
to come up with
It
stuff.
really is.
So what about top three places? Because I understand it would be hard to pinpoint one or two major events over a career as long as you guys been doing it and you've been in the field. So what about top three places for you and Billy also?
Well, I can tell you my three right off the top: Octagon Hall, Old South Pittsburgh, and the Thomas House. The Thomas House,
we fell in love with that place the very first time we went.
Right.
We weren't even in there 5 minutes, and we had the Whistler and the boots.
Hmm. We set up a tape recorder on the little desk off to the side while we were getting ready in the morning, and we got so much interaction just from brushing teeth and everything else.
Well, you're talking about the morning. What about the night before?
Yeah.
You
I
guys
mean,
ever
it was
been to the Thomas
ridiculous
house?
how much we got.
We
I've
have
never
not
been.
been to the
You've not
Thomas
been
house.
there. It's a great
Uh-uh.
location. I'm going to say this, so if you go, book it on your own.
Yes.
Get a group of friends,
Yeah.
whatever, and book it.
Yeah.
Don't go to an event. It's not the same.
No.
Gotcha.
Book it on your
I'm
own.
gonna write that down so I don't forget, Billy.
They've got
Yes.
these little bitty dollar store trash cans that they have. I mean, they're small, and they put them. The bathrooms are pretty small too in the rooms,
Yeah.
and they put them right there by the door.
On the outside of the bathroom.
And
I wanted it in the bathroom, and I couldn't put it anywhere that the door didn't hit. So I stuck it on the actual bathtub at the widest point.
Mhm.
Had plenty of room. Sat there all day long,
all night,
all night long, till 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning, when we're laying in the bed, it slams up against the door and clanks. Yeah, we both
Wow.
like.
I've got that on. Well, I've got our reaction on camera. I didn't catch
Yeah.
that on camera, but it literally threw. I mean, it flew
could hear it.
across.
Wow.
We,
And you could hear the footsteps of him walking around the bed. And he said, "She did it." I said, "I'm just going to stay here. That didn't sound friendly. I'm good."
she pulled that blanket up like that where she could see, you know.
That's the
And I'm
normal.
like, shit. That-
Like, I've been around it all my life. When crap happens at 3 o'clock in the morning, it can wait till the sun comes up. You just roll over, act like you didn't hear it, and keep going.
Now, granted, it wasn't a trash can falling. You know, granted,
Yeah.
that far, okay? This was boom, 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 boom. You hear it
Wow.
hit, bounce around, and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not getting up."
so I got up, and I already knew what it was. And I walked over there, and I started cleaning it up. I said, "I'm sorry. She did it."
I'm square under that bus.
But the next morning when we got up, I was brushing my teeth, and the EVP recorder was going.
And when he clanked his toothbrush, she said, "Clean."
Oh wow.
she also
Wow.
said, "I forgot to lay out your shirt."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to him, and
Wow.
I said, "Well, I forgot to do something," and she overstepped me on the recorder and said, "I forgot to lay out your shirt." I said, "I don't lay out your clothes. That wasn't me."
Yeah.
That's
It's a great
awesome.
That is
location. If you
great.
guys ever go, book it on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you bring up a good
John.
point.
OSPH, Thomas House would be ours.
Yeah. And Thomas House is in Red Boiling Springs.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's not too far a drive at all.
No, that's
Right.
not.
Yeah, I'll be checking on that tomorrow.
Now, I do want to get to Trans Allegheny. I've not been there.
Right.
Bear's already told me you can't go unless you're going to be there a week. You
Yeah,
know?
that's. I mean, for me, that place is just enormous, and you know,
Yes.
my mom and dad. I was born in Buchanan, West Virginia, which is about 30 miles away from Weston out there, and that place was around it. And you know, I heard stories about it all my life, and you know, and dad and mom. They would go there on field trips. I mean, can you imagine those kind of days? Hey, let's go down to the old insane asylum, let people spit at us and do that kind of cool stuff, you know? And then it was also, people had in the auditorium out there, they used to hold their proms there.
Yes.
So people would come around and have proms in the insane house, you know? And it's one thing, you know, and Sue Parker up there, I've known Sue for many years. Love the lady and hunted with her a lot. And the last time every time I go there, they're opening up a new part of the building and they're opening up something different. So, I mean, the one building itself is where my wife, Tawana, went and will never go back. She will never, ever go back. And in fact, it's on the second floor down by above the old Civil War area. and they don't even let you hunt that area anymore. They will. It's that kind of weird, and she's swore off of that. My sister got locked into a place up on the fourth floor, those isolation rooms back there. Have no locks, have no way to lock them or anything else, but she was locked in and we couldn't get her out for 4 hours.
Oh wow!
And she came out in a totally different attitude.
Let me ask you guys this, because
Yes, sir.
I personally, I love the marquee places. You know, I really do. OSPH, Octagon Hall, all these places. But I really am drawn to the road less traveled.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Some of the most amazing experiences we have had have been to places that, you know, most people don't even know of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I-
And
Wielded Manor.
I don't.
Wielded Manor.
Yeah.
We have got a trip coming up, going
April.
up there. I've been twice, and it's the only place that I've ever had a dream about. But I don't know
Yeah.
why. I don't know
That
why. I
place
just
messed me up.
did.
Yeah, we've been there enough. We're good.
Yeah, I don't care to ever go back.
this will be
I-
my
I-
first
I-
experience.
I-
Guys,
danced
for
with
their
that
first
one,
trip up
and
there.
I'm good.
So,
That's the place we're investigating after we come to the hall. Is
Okay. Oh,
next
excellent.
We'll be going
Yep.
to Wilden, so it'll be my first experience there. And
It can
I
be
can't
really
wait.
heavy. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
well, I can tell you from my experiences that we were one of the first people. We helped clean up the place and got it going, and it's changed a lot. I mean, it's not one of the. Yeah, you have to be very aware of yourself in that building.
Right.
Very aware of
Because
yourself in that building.
different things will attract each one of you in a different direction.
They try to
yeah,
separate.
it tries to
At the
separate
same
you exactly.
Yeah, it does.
Exactly.
It
And
does.
we had both been punched in the back down in the boiler room.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the boiler room's one of the places I remember being down there with Cassie Ray one time and rocks being thrown at us and everything else. And I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
and they did not like.
Days.
I'll tell you the one thing that I do remember so well about that place, and I don't want to spoil for you, but it was at the boiler room, and there was a massive black mass there, and I remember taking a glow stick and throwing it in the air and throwing it in this black mass and watching it totally disappear. And never saw it, didn't see it. I heard it hit the floor, nothing. It didn't glow anymore. And
that's wild.
it was like going,
We have witnessed someone be attacked with an attachment,
yeah,
and totally not that person.
But
Mhm.
we were heading out and going down the stairs.
mhm.
And as I come around the corner, he got way ahead of me. And a lady got in my ear and she said, "Hey, you be careful."
Got it on recorder too.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
And I told
Oh,
him,
yeah.
I said, babe, somebody just told me to be careful. I'm like, oh God, the stairs are right there. And I
Mhm.
looked down and my shoe was untied. I said, oh my God, my shoe's
Ah.
untied. And he said,
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
tied my shoe. I said, thank you. And went on down the stairs.
It has
There's-
to be probably the weirdest place I've ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you never know what you're going to get.
No, you don't.
yeah. And there is something that's very monstrous-like in the back.
We think
That
that
is just
there
crazy.
could be like a big boss there, and the big boss is like, letting the other spirits in the building,
Hmm.
he's telling them you can communicate or you cannot.
Right.
And we think we ran into him the last time we were there in April of 2019.
I refer to those as generals,
yes, exactly.
because a lot of times they're the ones that they don't let those spirits leave.
Yeah.
You know, they hold them there. Another place you guys should check out, especially when you come to the hall, you got to go down and see Billy Wilkerson and them from Whiskey.
I was going to say that.
The Old Stone Jail, the Historical Society.
Do you remember? I think back in 2018, maybe or whatever. I think you guys toured the old stone jail. You know,
Yes.
Billy had a lot to do with that upstairs, and it had the stuff and everything else. Well, last year they allowed a paranormal. Well, it was 2 years ago, I think. Right, Billy? They started to allow paranormal investigations in there, and Billy Wilkerson runs it. It's a great place because it's like a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
And you get the Jailer's Inn and the jailhouse and all the historical stuff that's inside that and so forth. But right across the street, they opened up the other side. And that is the Historical Society, fire trucks, all the stuff that's been going around Franklin and everything else. And man, Franklin has history.
Yes, it does.
And it's off the chain. And Billy and I can tell you the greatest place in the world to set.
Out of there one night. Everybody else was already gone, and me and Bear, we were still going at it. It just wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so within a 6-mile squat, you can hit 2 places that will just throw you to death. I mean, it's just they're great places. So,
and Billy and his team, they're great people. You know, they.
Yep.
Awesome.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot had them on here before, and they've helped at the hall also. They also enjoy coming up to the hall. Had them do some novice hunts for us during October. Just a great team, great to watch. Really good on the technical stuff. They bring some bizarre stuff you don't get to see very much, you know. And that's what you need. You need stuff that's going to be, you know, when you're putting together your tackle box, like we call it, you know. You want stuff out there because you're going to have to change your lures all the time because you never know what's going to work that night or where you're going to be at, what you're going to need. So, you know, you got to change it up. But I'm going to take a quick look here in the chat room because I haven't said hi to anybody out there yet. And I'm just popping in there right now. Laughlin, what do you say, brother? Beth Allen, hi, honey. How are you? Nikki Norris, great to have you here. Frankie Lynn, hello. Let's see here as I keep on going through. Savannah Holland, Savannah Holland. Now that sounds like somebody that we should know.
Yeah, that's the daughter-in-law.
Yeah. Have you got Savannah out yet doing hunts with you?
Actually, she has. She has been to South Pittsburgh, and she had some really unique experiences there.
Yeah.
She's always looking for the next opportunity to go, and we're always looking to take her. I've brought my son to Octagon. You may remember that. He was a teenager then. He's 27, I think. I'm the dad, the dad age, 26, 27, somewhere around in there.
Yeah.
And so now I just got to get my daughter out there so she can experience it all, and that takes care of the whole family. Forget the wife; she won't go.
Yeah.
She won't.
Christy Morius, hello, and Nikki Worf. As I said, I'm just picking through it. If I didn't see your name and if I missed you, I apologize, but I sure do thank you for following us. This show is all about for the fans and what we're doing, and I hope you're enjoying these people tonight because you're with some of the greatest people. And I could tell, the stories that we all could tell. And I've happened to be one of my happiest things that always makes me smile is when you see Mark get excited. When he walks somewhere and he goes, "Did you ever?" It's like going, now there's a guy who truly loves what he's doing.
Yes.
I mean, we all get like that,
Yeah, we all do.
When it happens, you get excited about it, and you're gonna, show it.
Yeah.
You can't help it,
And Barry, you bring up a great point. The day that you lose that childlike excitement,
yeah,
and there, people ask all the time, do we ever get scared? And the honest answer is no. Do we get startled? Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Frequently. All the time. The difference is, and I'm not going to mention any particular television personality.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave it at that. You can use your imagination. But when things happen, don't run.
Yeah.
Number one, it's dark and you'll probably get hurt. Number two, you're in a probable haunted location, and you'll end up lost and by yourself, and you'll freak out even more.
And number
Right.
3, that's why you're there.
Exactly.
Get on the
Yeah.
roller coasters, you don't wanna
Exactly.
ride.
Yeah.
But
We've
it's-
been to locations and people have done that. They come running all the way
We
down
have
from the other
too.
end of the building. Hey, you won't believe what's going on down there. Why are you here?
Yeah. Just sit up there and
For real.
enjoy it.
Yep.
Why
Yeah.
are you here? You should be up there, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll give you one because I know Bear still has that kind of excitement. We were talking maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's before the snow, and talking on the phone. Just catching up and whatnot, and getting our dates ironed out for when we're coming to the hall. And he was hearing some stuff. He was there by himself, and I said, "Am I on speaker?" And he says, "Yeah." So I just start talking to him, just like and the way that we normally investigate, we talk to these energies the same way as we're talking right now.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not so robotic. Side note, for those of you new, don't ask, "Do you know you're dead?" That's about the stupidest question you could ask
Yeah.
anybody. Okay, that's
Until you get that response, do you know how dumb you are?
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, but I mean,
No.
really.
No,
Yeah,
it's
you're
the
right,
truth.
you're right.
That is the truth.
But so Bear and I are sitting there talking, and then we're saying, Bear's like, "All right, man, love you, brother, and I love you too, Bear. We'll see you." And then we both hear this voice in the background go, "Bye."
Yeah.
And Bear started that laugh, and I said, "Did I just hear?" And he said, "Yep." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, bye, thank you."
Yeah.
And it sounded female, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was female. It was definitely female. It's funny. I was sitting in the audio room in the hall. We call that, it could be the master bedroom, but some people's where the staircase was taken out, and we put the other one in there to represent it. And that is one of the places that people just don't understand. Billy and I have hidden in there for we go up to a novice hunt, and we're not doing a novice hunt. We're there to help them out if they have problems or whatever. So we'll sit in the audio room. And then one night we're sitting in there, the team's getting activity. They're in the dining room. We're sitting there, and all of a sudden it's like going, we're being pestered by some spook.
They kept going. They went, "Hey." Yeah, I believe it was a female.
It was. I'm
And
not
we both
supposed to
looked
with
at
you.
each other because it was right between us. It
Yeah.
was clear. I can't believe that the people in the other room didn't hear it. That's how loud it was.
Yeah.
Because that experience was for y'all.
Well,
Right.
granted, it wasn't just one hay. This was
Yeah.
like 5 hays. And
We didn't answer it, so it's standing in the middle of us, just going,
Hey, yeah.
yeah,
There you go, not paying attention, and they want to interact with you.
Right.
yeah, yeah. Well, you got other people doing the investigation, and we're in there. We can't start talking and having
Right.
our own conversation, so we're quiet, and this thing just going, hey, hey,
And we're
Hey!
looking at each other like,
Yep.
yeah. Billy turns around and goes, what? And you know what the weirdest thing about it was? This is what I heard. I don't know if Billy heard the same thing,
very comical.
but I heard it go, hi.
It was almost like, "Hey, are we there yet?
Yeah.
Are
Yeah,
we there yet?" It was comical.
Yeah.
it was. It
That's
was.
great.
Family Guy
Yeah.
keeps popping in my mind. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's just it's amazing. It's great to, guys, when you been around this business and you get to meet so many darn people. It's wonderful to be able to sit down with people like you and just enjoy it. Everything else. Does anyone have any in the chat room? I want to, if you've got some serious questions, lay it on these guys, because these are the guys that you want to
I
get
got one
answers
for 'em.
from.
I
Go
want to
ahead.
know what got you guys started in it.
There you go.
Well, basically, it was just me getting to go to the South Pittsburgh that first time, and after that, I couldn't get enough of it. I wanted to do it all the time, And I was like, gosh, I wish I had a job where I could do this all the time and get paid for it, pay the
Don't we
bills. That
all?
way
Yeah.
I could do it all the time. But gosh, it was it's like a drug, you want to keep doing it because you want to find them answers, but then again, you're getting these experiences, and I have met some of the most amazing people getting to do this. That who else can say they do what we do? There's not a whole lot of people out there really doing this.
Well,
So
the
it's just the
outside world
greatest
thinks
thing.
we're all crazy.
Oh yeah,
That's okay. That's
That's-
why we hang out with all the other people
That's
just
right.
like us.
That's crazy. Exactly.
that's right.
But I do say, to add to Jason's story, I do say all of us on camera right now, and a lot of the people in the chat room, if horror movies were real life, we're the first idiots killed because we go towards the noise.
Yes.
Or we just
People go the
waiting
other
for it to come to us. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If we could have some of the most favorite.
What got you started?
What? I'm sorry.
What got you started?
What
Mark?
got you started in it?
Been interested in it since I was a kid.
Did you have
Father-
personal experiences that led
yeah.
up to it?
Had
Okay.
personal experiences that led up to it, but I was never scared. I used to go when I was 5 years old, and I didn't know this until my father was on his deathbed, literally. He told me a story about me getting lost in the woods because I went out by myself at 5 looking for Bigfoot in the woods, over by the school. They did the whole search party, and he said about 6 hours later, I came walking out with the dog. And yeah, so it's just had experiences, and I've just always been one of those that's been more intrigued than scared. I want to know why. I want to know how, who, the 5 W's, and yeah, it's pretty much same boring story as a lot of us. Just experiences growing up, and that's it.
The growing up part is a big part of it. We all had those experiences, and we all carry it with them. We all wanted to know what the heck's going on, because you have to have an investigative side in it. Savannah Holland has got a great question for you. What is Mark's favorite and most exciting experience he has had so far?
Wow. I'm gonna
It's going back to all those 21 years, buddy. It's a lot.
Let me
Get
refer
that
to
hamster moving.
Tanya on this.
Yeah.
Right. It's
I
hard
would
to get
have
on
to
the spot.
say, and this was many, many years ago, and it's still one of my favorite pictures that I have. Bear has seen it many a times. Can't remember exactly what year, but make a long, detailed story short, we're at Octagon Hall. Myself and one of our female guest investigators at the time were standing in the museum room and heard giggling.
Mhm.
Turned around and looked and saw Mary Elizabeth in period clothing run across the doorway. And she immediately burst into tears. It kind of wigged her out. Well, I looked at her and I kind of patted her and I said, it's all right. So I got out my K2 meter and started playing K2 hide and seek. Now when I find you, this is going to go off. Are you under the couch? And I would literally, just playing like a kid, crawl on my belly and crawl under the couch. Okay, where are you at? Where are you at? I don't see. Go behind, the door and this and that and whatnot. And I never did find her. And I told her how great she was. She's much better than me at the game. And then as I'm radioing the rest of the guys, because we were going to switch locations, then this little girl's, it's about 2:30 in the morning, this little girl's voice, disembodied voice, says, I love you, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
And then the female investigator who was in there, it was only her first or second, she just broke down. She couldn't believe, what she experienced. And I was just like, oh, honey, I love you too. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Anytime you want to play, let's play. And I've still got that picture we got on that same night. She's actually looking out one of the first story windows.
Yep.
And she's got her hands on her chin, her hair up in a bun. And that picture is exactly what I saw run across the doorway.
Yeah.
So I would say I've had like you, Tanya, too many to pick a favorite, but that's probably one of them that had, like as you were referring to earlier, Billy, it was personal. It was interactive. It was engaging, and that's probably the one that I'll remember for the rest.
You
of my
always
life.
remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Always remember, I've got too many of them in mind, and I got things in my
Yeah.
mind that I can't even wrap around. And that's and that's coming up to the next question, because Frankie Lynn is there anything you haven't experienced or haven't learned that you want to know for a future investigation?
Well, for me, that is a fairly long list since I've not got to do it as long as any of y'all have. I would, for me, I would have to say, I would like to see. I want to see a UFO land. I think that. I think that right there would be just the coolest thing ever, especially to see
Yep.
Bigfoot.
Well, back to the trifecta. Our first UFO experience was coming back from the hall.
Yep.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Not surprised
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, and again, this is I believe this wholeheartedly. I've been in the field of what I call paranormal studies for 25 plus years. Been actively investigating for 23. The team for 2021. And I can honestly say the answer to that would probably take longer than we have time, because you're constantly growing. You're constantly learning. I don't believe in such a thing as a paranormal expert.
No.
No.
That to me says that you really have nothing else to learn. And to me, we learn something on every single investigation. You're growing, you're learning new techniques, what to do, what not to do, what worked, what didn't work. What techniques are going to work here? Do you need to run an Airacuse experiment or not? Is a voice box reliable? All of that stuff
Well,
goes in.
I'm
every
going to say
time.
something, and it might offend some people, but I really don't care. To me, I agree. There are no experts in this. And if you get activity or you get evidence, it's not because you're so good at what you're doing. It's
Right.
because
Yes.
they gave that to you.
To you,
Exactly.
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 Yes,
They
very well said.
gave that to you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we consider that.
And we always say, guys, it's like fishing. Sometimes
Yeah,
they
oh,
bite,
yeah.
sometimes
Yep.
they don't.
Yeah,
No.
that's a good
You
way
know?
to put it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're this big wig that's got a television show that's whatever, or if you're at your first investigation. If you catch something or you experience something, it's not because of how
It's a
good
gift.
you
That's
are.
what they gave you to.
They
That's what they
allow-
gave you to have. You
That's,
know.
that's one of the best things I've heard all night. Yep.
Yeah, it's
That's
if
exactly
you
the
ever
truth.
run across somebody and they say I'm an EVP expert, find someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just to me that's a ludicrous title in the field of paranormal studies, because
You might
Yeah.
be really good at analyzing the data and everything.
Yeah.
But you only got that data because they gave it to you. It wasn't because
Right.
you're the greatest or you know.
Well, the first thing you want to ask somebody like that is, so what makes an EVP happen?
Yeah.
And no one can give you that answer. No
Right.
one.
Everybody's got their theories, but this stuff has been going on since the beginning of time. We still don't have all the answers, and we probably
Right.
never will.
Never will.
Hey, you know what?
Until we
We
pass
cross
away, yeah.
over to that other side. Then
Exactly.
I'm right with you there, Billy. But we're looking at two guys down here and us, and we've all been out in the fields for a long, long time. And it's one of those things that there are so many mysteries out there that we still don't know about. But we do know that when you are out investigating, there are things that will talk to you, and you have to discern what it is. And it's just like the same thing also is not everything's a little girl. Not everything's a little boy, even though they come across as one.
Go ahead and say it,
Exactly.
Bear.
Yeah.
That,
Exactly.
Our favorite little resident girl.
yeah. Mary Elizabeth gets credit for a lot of stuff, but it's not always Mary Elizabeth.
We've
and-
actually had interactions with the sisters.
Yes, exactly.
As
and
well.
other things that even males will come down and play ball with you. It's
Yeah.
just like going, because sometimes they're tricksters.
Yep.
Yeah, you just can't deal with them. And there's so many things that the UFO things out at the hall. I mean, Nick Groff the last time that Nick was up there doing Death Walkers. We were talking to him when we go outside, and what the heck he see outside? UFO right over the hall.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know, and got a drone, the whole 9 yards, and doesn't even fly it, and around even seeing it. You know, so yeah, I'm glad you're back, Tanya and Billy. I thought we were going to lose you there for a second. Let's see what else.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost Bear.
Lost Bear. He hit the wrong button.
He sure did.
But I will say that to keep answering that question a little bit further, instead of expert, I would call it just someone who's more experienced.
An experiencer.
That's it.
Oh,
You know, it's
I'm back.
I'm back to.
Hey, is this on?
I'll tell you one thing: we are not going to mention the word UFOs anymore tonight.
Wow. That's crazy.
that button in the Pentagon may be pressed sooner than later.
Sooner than
You
later,
know, so, yeah.
Exactly. Jeff Talton just came in and says, "Hi, Jason."
Hello.
And Ada Cox is in here now. How you doing, Ada? It's nice to have you in here. And looking for more questions.
Vicky.
Sorry.
Vicky
Yes.
has a question. She wants to know where y'all are going next.
Octagon Hall.
Octagon Hall.
We'll be. I don't mind telling you the. Well, heck, you can see it on our Facebook page. I really don't.
Yeah.
March the 4th and 5th. We'll be at Octagon Hall. We will be there early. Both days, just because we do love to interact with people. Do love to meet people who like what we do, who follow us, or who just may be curiosity and stopping by. We've had several times, and Barry can attest to this. People will make a historical stop, see us set up, ask about that. Then they'll go to Bear. Are these people nutcases, or are they real?
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
Bear confirms that we're nutcases, then they come back out.
Yeah, they come back and talk to you. Yeah.
and whatnot. But it's so we will be there early. But just a reminder, and we don't do this to be mean, but we're there looking for answers and further documentation. So at 3:00 when the hall closes, everyone will be asked to leave, just out of respect for us and respect for the field of what we think and look at as scientific research and study,
Exactly.
to further the proof for those naysayers out there that, man, these energies do exist. They're here.
Yeah.
We all know that.
We know it.
That's not conjecture. That's a fact for
Mhm.
us, and a lot of y'all watching. So it's there's my soapbox for the night.
Yeah, we've had way too much happen to say that, it's not, there's not something, whether it be other dimensional beings or whether it be, dead people that are still walking the earth. We don't know, but something's definitely going on. That is definitely for sure.
Yeah, something's happening out here that when you get into it, and some of the field. What do you think about the? People say I don't like the dark side. I don't get, but it comes with it. You can't just go away from it. You have to deal with it.
Yeah.
We deal with a lot of residentials. I know you guys do residentials and everything else.
Mhm.
We've also been to some places that are just pure dang negative, nasty, pits. They're nothing but a pit.
Yeah.
But what do you think about what goes on there and why they're that way?
Jason, I'll let you address this one first.
Well, I've not really had a lot of experiences with the dark side of this stuff, but I think it could be the negativity in the home. It could be something negative with the land. There's so many variables with it. I don't know if anybody could ever, fully grasp what is happening with the negative energies that they have to deal with.
I always say, if you live in chaos, you're going to create chaos.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep, that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
You know, and
Absolutely.
a lot of people mistake things for being dark and
Yes.
evil,
True.
and
Good
it's
point.
not.
No, sometimes I think they're just trying to get your attention, and you perceive it as being evil because they won't leave you alone.
Oh
But
my
all they're
God,
wanting
that's
to
Yeah.
bad. It's a demon. No.
yeah, no, it
If it was
ain't.
a demon, they would have picked you up and slammed you against the wall,
Yeah.
or whatever you
Right.
want. I mean, it's
You know, the hardest thing about
I
it is
agree.
people that we go to. We are bumping into people all the time. We may be at the hall or we might be going. Somebody's coming in, and we hear this all the time. Well, we're going to go do an investigation. Is it a demon? I'm like going, no, but we've encouraged some pretty nasty things. But people will go take a look at because it's black, a dark shadow person.
Yeah.
They're evil. They're people have been mind played so hard. I mean, they wonder what's going on here in the United States now. It's all because of total mind stuff, but we're not going to get into that because I don't want to get kicked off of Facebook ever again.
Hey, Vicky, I believe that was the room. Actually, it might have been 39.
I think it was 39.
39 is the room where the trash can flew. But yeah, we played on that end of the hall. We played Chase.
And we've been in
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 42, 43, all that area over that way. Yep. That's in that wonderful hotel that we mentioned earlier, the Thomas House.
I was writing down room 39. So
Yeah.
39.
I figured you were doing that.
And there's also Ashmore Estates.
That
Have
was
y'all
cool.
been to Ashmore?
no, man.
No, we
Okay.
haven't.
Ashmore, I had a connection with a male entity there, and he followed me everywhere I went. He answered the same questions the same way every time. Played
Wow.
music, and he had the EMF going the same beat to the music. But if I played Elvis Presley, it wouldn't go off. He did not like Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
But it was really cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
To go back to our earlier conversation, I had 3.A, and I'm assigning this one as 3.AB, Brushy Mountain State Prison.
Oh, yes. Brushy Mountain.
That place is off the chain.
Yep.
That was took my grandson, who was 7 years old, Chris on a day, just a regular tour, because he wanted to go on a ghost hunt, he said. So I said, let's go. So I took a K2 handed it to him.
Take it.
I'll have you know, he walked all the way to the end of a cell row by himself, sticking the K2 in each one of the cells.
Really?
He actually had a K2 hit.
Excellent.
Wow.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
the
Excellent.
future.
Awesome.
Future. There you go. That is excellent. I love to hear that.
But as far as your comment with the darkness, you're right. You're going to encounter it if you do this long enough.
Yeah.
I personally believe, your personal faith is your saving grace. Some people may think differently, and that's okay. The individual thought is fine. But that's not what we're in it for. Matter of fact, recently just did a house cleansing, and actually had a call this morning from a lady, a homeowner, and I've actually got my notes right here. Reported, and this, like you said, it doesn't necessarily ring evil, but it does ring, as you were saying, Billy, earlier, grabbing their attention.
Yes.
Right. Items being moved, poltergeist activity, touched in the shower, scratches, bruises, a lot of the other things that are on here, people equate that as, oh yeah, well, there's a demon in there.
The only way I can third grade it down for everybody is to say an asshole in life is going to be an asshole in death.
Bingo.
Yep. And
Yeah.
if they're a
Exactly.
trickster, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to try to get your attention. They're going to pull pranks on you.
I got news for all y'all. Some of y'all out there, when I go, I'm going to mess with you.
Yeah. I guarantee you, I am too. So don't worry about
I'm
it.
going to mess with you big time.
Yeah.
Stick his
Yeah.
finger in your ear.
I'm gonna check your Earl.
I'm going to be. My
Yeah.
home's going to be at Octagon Hall, but I'm going to ask the good Lord if I can be a traveler, just so I can,
Yeah.
spread the messing with people around. So
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
We understand how much you love the hall. I mean, we love it too. That's why we got married there. But it's just one of those places. The
It
more
is.
you go, the more it accepts you.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
one of those places.
and
It's
And
weird
I can say the
too.
same thing about OSPH, Jason.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
Yeah.
the weird thing is that I've probably been on 40 to 50 investigations since I've been doing this, and I can honestly say that the same thing has not happened twice.
Right.
It's different every single time you go.
In certain places, you have a connection to it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You have it's like a home. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? It's like a home away from home. When you go there, you feel welcome when you walk in.
Yep.
And you don't feel that at every location.
right.
There's a few. Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt that way. I was kind of nervous going to the hall for the first time, um, but after that, like the second night, I didn't feel that way anymore. I felt like I was at home. I felt welcome there.
Mhm.
I almost fell through the barn floor, but hey,
let me ask you this: do you
Yeah.
guys find yourselves, like, say, when you're going to Octagon or any location, really? Do you find yourselves talking to the place before you even get there?
Yes, I done that at Trans Allegheny,
And do
Yeah.
you dream
big
about
time.
it before you go?
Wilden is the only place that's ever happened to me. Most of the time, I don't ever think about these places
Mhm.
before I go to bed. I'm reading up during the day, but I try not to think about them going to bed because if I do, I won't sleep because I'll
Right.
constantly be going over stuff through my mind, and my mind can't rest.
Mhm.
But like I said, Wilden is the only place that's ever done that to me, and I don't know why, but it is.
Right.
Thank you, Jason, for confirming my insanity because I purposely, when I'm going to sleep, I purposely think about the places. And I
I
know
don't.
this is, for some people, they may say, well, man, you're messed up or whatever. It
No,
helps
you're
me to
making a
relax.
connection.
Yeah,
Right.
You're
Yeah,
making a
it
connection.
helps
Right.
me to
I
sleep.
try not to.
I
I
can tell
like
you.
to dream about it, like you said, because I feel
Yeah.
like I'm more connected once I get there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I will dream about the place before I go. And when I get there, I will see faces in photos that I saw the night
Wow.
before.
Yes, I've
It's like
experienced
they
that.
come checking you out before you get there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Because you're
Yeah.
like, I saw that person last night. You can look at the pictures and go, oh crap, who's that? And the people that work there will tell you who they are. And it's kind of cool that you've had that connection.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I'm
You
with
guys ready for another? You guys ready for another question?
Yeah.
Beth Allen. Beth Allen's got one here. It says, "What would be your best advice for future generations of investigators, other than don't run?"
Go for it, Mark.
Best advice, a little bit I've said earlier, but you may have missed the earlier part of our conversation. Do your research, do your research, do your research. Try to determine the kind of primer, as I'll call it, for activity. Is it the land? Is it the family that lives there? Was it an event? Is it historical based? Try to find answers. It's to me, that's the fun, challenging part of it, because every investigation is like a puzzle that you're trying not only to put the pieces of the puzzle together, but you're trying to find the pieces so you can put that puzzle together. So do the research to try to make connections and come up with theories. Something that we do, again, if it offends someone, well, hey, allow me to practice my belief, you practice your belief, and we're all good. But we do say a prayer of protection before we
Sure.
go into any location. So because we all do have families, kids, and we don't want to bring anything home. So we say a prayer of protection. I would highly recommend that. If you're not sure how to write your own prayer protection, reach out to us. Shoot us a messenger on Facebook. I can help you with that. Done it with many other teams before. Finally, starting out, you don't need to go spend $10,000 on equipment.
Well,
The
you
best-
are your best piece of equipment.
Right. What would you say?
There you go, Jason.
One
That's
piece of
exactly right.
equipment. If they had to get one piece, what would you say would be the best piece of equipment they could get?
Ooh, I'm going to turn this one over to the tech guy who is
Yeah.
the equipment guy. What would you
I think-
say, Jason?
I think it's simple, and it's a audio recorder,
I
a
must be
notepad, and a pen.
Yeah.
That way, and if you can't write it down what you're seeing or what your witness is, at least you can say it, and the recorder will pick you up doing that. And
Right.
that's an easy way to document anything. But as far as like what Mark was saying, when you're getting into this, never lose your enthusiasm for doing it, because if you do, you're done. Pack your
Yeah.
stuff up and just go. And don't be afraid to change your game plan, because if there's a lot of stuff not happening, regroup, change your game plan, go back out there and hit it again. And the equipment that we use is basically for the experience that you're having to validate it. So like if I feel cold chill. Well, did the temperature go down, or is that just a personal experience that you just had?
Mhm.
Is it in your head? At least with the equipment that we have there, it can tell you, yes, he is actually experiencing this, or she is experiencing that.
And you can take video on your phone. Most people have the voice
Yeah.
recorder on your
Right.
phone, taking pictures on your phone. You don't have to have a $5,000 camera.
A lot of people fail to understand that they're so focused on their equipment that they're missing the show that's going on right in front of them.
Bingo.
I
Yeah.
think TV has a lot to do with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we're not
Watching
knocking the
light
people on
and
TV.
not your environment.
No.
Yeah, I
Right,
think
yeah.
No.
I think well, like the Ovilus. I don't have an Ovilus. I can't afford one. But like, I think when you're all right. Well, I'm gonna spend all my money to get this. Well, why don't you just buy an audio recorder or a $200 video camera, or use your phone to video record? You don't have to have the high dollar equipment like they do on TV.
Right.
You don't. It's nice to have some of that stuff, but you don't have to have it.
And another thing about this, everybody wants to go out there and they get that piece of evidence.
Mhm.
Where they're failing at is that piece of evidence is meant for you. It's for your acknowledgement, whatever, because somebody out there is going to knock it down.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, most of the stuff that we
always.
capture, we don't even put out there because.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Somebody just wants to beat you up.
And somebody, that's not real. You can't see through it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Exactly.
That's in full color. That's not a ghost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have got to throw this out there. Jason probably knows exactly what
Oh,
I'm going to say.
Lord, here we go.
And he's thinking, Mark, be careful. Well,
Yep.
I'm just going to say
Tread softly, my friend.
that we had met, and this has been a few years ago, but met my official first time troll.
Yeah.
On it, y'all know what I'm talking about. Again, if a rattlesnake bit him, I don't think he would say, "Well, that was a rattlesnake,"
Right.
until he was dead. Just that kind of person.
I hope you can suck the poison out yourself because I ain't doing it.
And do it. Yeah.
Here,
Oh man, this guy was wild.
the funny part to me, and again, hey, everybody does their own thing, man. But I'm not going to dress up as a panda bear on the weekends and go to parties.
Yeah. Right.
And people
Oh,
call
man.
me crazy. That's all I'm saying.
You
Okay.
went there.
Um,
You went
And
there.
another thing is science, the science side of it. If you can't measure it, it don't exist.
Right.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
think about how far we've come in, say, the last 100 years.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
We didn't know shit back then, but we know it all now. Well, what's going to happen in
Yeah.
another 100 years?
It's going to be phenomenal.
You know, science always says
Oh, yeah.
if you can't measure it, it doesn't exist. Okay, well, science ain't always right.
Right.
And I got a question.
I agree.
Have
Yeah.
you ever been anywhere and out of the blue somebody comes up and physically talks to you and you answer them, turn around, and they're gone?
Oh yeah.
They're nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's happened on several occasions.
Right.
I think we were, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we were in this building in Rossville, Georgia, not too long ago. It's called the 1910 building.
Well, that's in
But it looked like a
Chickamauga.
full body person like you or I.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just not there anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was literally, Jason was around the corner and I was in this back hallway and I was literally, I think we were still setting up, maybe even, I can't remember. Jason, correct me again, please correct me if
we
I'm
were.
wrong. But all of a sudden, I said, "What, Jason?" And Jason's like, "Huh?" And
Yeah,
then
I'm like, you fool, I didn't say nothing.
yeah, and I'm like, "You were just right here asking me a question. I didn't hear you." And he said,
Yeah.
"Dude, I'm all the way around the corner. What are you
Yeah, I
talking
can't
about?"
move that fast anymore, believe me.
Yeah, and we did catch that on the voice recorder. Of course,
we
we didn't
did.
have the
Yeah.
camera set up yet. Yeah, it was during setup. We didn't have the camera
Yeah.
set up yet or whatnot. So yeah, that just happened in a recent investigation last year.
Yeah. See, and him and I were in Indiana. God, I can't even remember the name of the place. It was just like a house that we were investigating. And
I'd know it if you hadn't said it.
I know, but him and I were standing next to each other, and there was another girl standing next to me, and her and I had been talking, and we were listening to the group conversation going on. And a lady walks up behind us, and she puts her hands around both of us girls and said, "Is she okay?"
We all
her
turned
and I-
around.
Wow.
we all looked
Yeah.
around,
There's
and I
nobody
was
there.
like, "Where did she go?" So her and I took off looking around to see who was, injured or something happened, to try to help them.
I'm looking
And
around
everybody
going,
else looked at us like we were nuts when we go, "Is somebody hurting here?"
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like
the
at the
Asher Walton
hall.
house.
Yes.
The Asher Walton house.
Yeah. It's like at the hall. It's amazing how many people will walk in the door and go, "Wow, it is so cool that you've got reenactors walking around out here." And I'm like going, "We do."
Yeah.
But yeah, and everybody, there has been so many people that have reported it. I've seen it. Maybe you guys have seen it. People walk right by you. You look at them. They look at you weirdly. They may even say hi, hey, something to you, and then that you turn around and what happened to them? They're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like poof. And these things are the realest things in the
We do a lot of events, whether it's the hall or OSPH or wherever.
wherever. Yeah.
And one of the things we always tell everybody is take a look at your group. Mentally take a picture of everyone in your group and pay attention, because you never know, at some point during the night that group
We'll get larger.
will get larger.
That's
Yeah.
a good piece of advice, man.
And I
really
say
is.
it all the time when I'm telling these people, everybody's coming for the Holy Grail. They want to see the full body apparition. Well, chances are you probably already seen one and didn't know
You
it.
didn't even know it.
You have been
Exactly.
conditioned to believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
'Cause
Because
we were in the-
you're trained from a young age that if you see something like this, you're going to see through it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
or it doesn't exist, know.
Right.
But like I think it's probably because of movies and Hollywood is the reason why this happens. But hardly ever they see through. You're seeing somebody just like me and you standing there,
Yes.
and that's
Yeah.
how they are.
and
they
that's
might have a
whether it's
glow
full
around
body
them, but-
or partial.
hmm
It's still solid.
Yep.
It's still in color. I mean,
Yeah.
And who knows when you're like, I know around here we don't walk down the street, but who's to say somebody walking on the side of the road is a real person?
Mhm.
How do we know that they're not unless we go out there and push them over and say, "Hey, are you real?"
Right.
Yeah.
But that could be anywhere. And
Mhm.
paranormal activity can happen anytime, anywhere. You never know when it's going to happen.
and that.
Now I
that's
know why I
we
get
always
pushed
say,
over on
pay
the sidewalk
attention to
all the
your
time.
Surroundings.
Yeah, exactly. I have trouble walking all over the place. Now I know why.
Yeah,
But,
we're in the-
you know, I remember. I got to say something. You know, Billy Bird was just a fantastic guy, and I know you guys just loved him to death. I remember one story that Billy told me one time, and Billy was not a big believer in paranormal, but he did tell me this one story before he took over at the hall and everything, and he told me it's about his life, and he was a recovery guy. He worked in an ambulance and EMT, and he did dive recoveries and everything else. Billy had a wonderful life and just a super individual. And he was driving the ambulance down to an accident, and he stops and he stops with him because there's this friend of his walking up the road. He goes, "Hey, so and so, how you doing? You all right? Can you need any help?" He says, "No, my car broke down there, and I'm just walking up here to the home." And he says, "Well, okay, you have a good one." He says, "Yep, you too. Have a nice one." Gets down there, sees the accident, and he's laying there dead in the seat.
Wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wild.
See, like I
Yep.
said, you never know what you see is an apparition or not. You don't know.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
amazing.
Mhm.
Yep, you got to pay attention to your surroundings. You can't be focused on that equipment all the time.
Yep.
Right.
Let the
You've got
equipment
to.
do its job.
Right.
Yeah.
Its job is to let you know if stuff is happening.
Mhm.
Yeah, but also
But-
let your body do its job.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Your body is your number
Yes.
one tool.
Because if
Yeah.
you're recording the equipment, you can always reference check.
Yes.
Right.
Um, Beth Allen has a question. She wants
Oh
to know
no,
if you guys.
we don't take questions from Beth. No. Hi Beth, how you doing, honey?
She wants to know if you guys investigate any locations in Georgia. She
Yeah,
said she would
we-
love to meet up with you, and if you're ever close by.
We've done the Shops of 1910 in Chickamauga, and
Sloss
then
Furnace.
that's in Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I know. I was just
You're
testing you.
directionally challenged anyway. You don't know up or down.
Yeah. Plus, it's getting night. I mean,
Yeah.
it's getting late in the night. Past his
I know.
bedtime.
It's his
Investigation. It's getting
Yeah.
past my bedtime.
Yeah.
But we do have a place that we love to go to, but it's it's an undisclosed place. We can't really tell people where it is, but
We all have those.
yes,
Yeah.
but it is a gold mine, and we love this place, and we have had a lot of weird things happen there. But that's really about the only places I have been in Georgia.
Yeah.
Mark,
We've
have you
done
been anywhere
several.
else?
Oh yeah, we've done several homes or in the Dalton, Kennesaw area. What was that? It's on the Georgia coast, Crime and Punishment Museum, when it was
Mhm.
open. Several other places. Yeah, I mean, we've been as far north as Ohio and as far south as Pensacola, Florida. Just like all of you guys, we're all well traveled, which is another fun part of it. You got
Yeah.
the other part, for those of you just starting up a team or newer, make sure that you get along.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
that sounds
Especially on a
like
road
such,
trip.
Yeah.
such
Yeah.
a simplistic
Yes.
statement, but believe
Yeah.
me, nothing
Really.
will destroy a team faster than people who cannot get along and just bicker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they let their egos get too much.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
it's not about me. It's not about Jason. It's about the team,
Yeah.
and it's about the evidence. Evidence first, right? Evidence first.
Yep.
And again, that's why we really don't have. I kind of tend to be the spokesman. We all kind of have our special roles, and Jason with the tech, and Marty, who is our lead researcher. Amanda, who I would say would be considered our lead sensitive as far as being really connected.
Mhm.
Now we don't just our thing. We don't really use mediums. Honestly, a lot of it is because of my beliefs. That's just not our gig. But we don't knock other people, for doing their thing. We respect it, But it's we kind of all bring a different talent, and then try to get a diverse team. AJ who does speak fluent Spanish. Then we have Todd, who is an officer, and he brings that investigative technique to it as far as the research goes and things like that. So we've got a really diverse team, very multi-talented, and we just tend to complement each other.
Yep.
I know that was a very expansive answer.
Well, it needs to be that way because that's what it is. It keeps going. When you start to answer a question and you just keep going, it's all great information. It's all the great stuff because each person on the team has their own response, own thing to it. That's what makes a great team. Golly,
Right.
and man, like you said, when you're on the road together, there's nothing worse than, if we all had to ride, when you get Melvin in the vehicle and you can put up with Melvin, then you can deal with anything,
We said that about Jason, so I understand.
Yeah, right.
Figured-
Jason, AJ, all of them, that's all, you're pushing, but, yeah, it's all good, and the funniest trips that we've ever had that I remember the most is and I'm just going to say it, I'm going to refer it, is when I'm in the front seat and my co-pilot is Father Casey, and then we got a crew in the back seat that's carrying on, and I mean to tell you, when Father Casey starts going, "That's one, mister. That's two, mister," and starts going, "I'm a priest. Can you stop?"
He was out of our car on the side.
I love
of the
him to
road.
death.
Yeah.
Because but I will say we try to keep it entertaining, which I feel
You
like is
have
part of
to.
my role.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Oh yeah.
I tend to sing the songs that come
Oh
on.
my gosh, yes. And I got video evidence of this happening too. It's-
Oh my
One
gosh.
day we'll
So
post
funny.
bloopers and behind the scenes stuff, and you'll hear me singing like an idiot. I love to sing the Bee Gees to AJ because he's usually driving. Yeah, just and let's
Yeah.
go back to the point that I think Tanya, you may have mentioned it earlier. It was Billy. You got to enjoy it. You got to have fun.
Yeah.
When you stop enjoying it, as Jason said, go find something else that's
Right.
going to pique your interest.
Yeah, because you're
Because
going to do nothing but just ruin yourself and ruin any evidence that you get. It's just going to be trash.
Yeah,
And it's just like tonight. When we get around and start talking paranormal, you get great people who enjoy the paranormal and everything else. Time flies, man. It's
I didn't know it was
know.
20 to 11.
yeah.
Wow.
It's just like going. And unfortunately, we've got to say goodbye.
Oh, man,
Um,
it's been so much fun.
Yeah, it's been great. Please, let's not wait to do it much more. I'd love to have you back on.
Love to be back.
And what I'd like to do, maybe if you're up here, do a live event with you. Yeah.
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 We'll all have to
Yeah.
get together and have dinner.
Yes,
Yep.
please.
Yep. And we'll bring 100 other people with us too. It's great when you go to a restaurant that's haunted. Who's serving what? So yeah, but thanks, guys. It's such a pleasure,
Thank y'all so much for having
And
me.
thank you
Yes.
for
ladies and
for doing it right,
gentlemen.
man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill.
I mean,
Thank you, Billy.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
exactly. I can't say enough. If like I said at the beginning of the show, these people have my greatest respect, and they are what I consider the cream of the crop. And please follow them on Facebook. Do these wonderful things, and to you guys also from my heart on, because we've been there, and I love you, brothers.
Love you,
Love you
brother.
too, Burr.
Yeah, and we will be seeing you soon in March, and I can't wait for that. It's going to be an awesome time. So, God bless y'all, And thank you, chat room. Thank you, Billy and Tanya. We'll be here next week. Some interesting things coming up, just to touch base with you. And I'll let you guys hear this, what's going on. I have been in contact with Patrick Jackson. If you all remember Patrick from about a year or two ago, we had some real interesting experiences about the paranormal, and he wrote the book, The Quantum Paranormal. We're going to be doing a special live thing with him coming up in February. So get your questions and everything ready, because I know there's a lot of people that really enjoyed Patrick's mindset and what some of the stuff that he was talking about. So we're going to be doing that on a special live it's probably going to be on a Saturday, since he's over in Britain, and give him a little bit better time to do that. Yep. And we've got some other dates coming up. We're going to be doing a really interesting thing. Angel Lee, the spiritual messenger, is going to come on, but we're going to have her on with Teresa Rose, the Firehouse medium, at the same time. So it should be it'll be pretty good and fun. And of course, we've got a lot of other people all booked up, and we've got some authors and other things coming. So stay tuned. And again, thank you for your wonderful support, guys. Thank you. Do me a favor, quickly put out where the your website, Facebook. I know you're all over Facebook. I did put it in the messages on Into the Far so they can see it and go to it. But please follow these guys, because this is the team that you want to remember for sure.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Jason, can you tell them where to go?
Yeah, it's facebook.com/
Don't do that.
PRGI team, and then we also have a link to our YouTube page on there too, so you can find all that there. We're on Instagram, but I really don't post a whole lot on there. Most of it is just Facebook and YouTube.
Bear, It's been an honor, as always, my brother.
Guys, it's an honor for us to be able to be with your presence, and it's always great. And I love you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Much love to y'all. Thank y'all so much for this.
All right.
It's
and
been a lot of fun.
Thank you again. Thank you again, chat room. And good night. And we're going to be out of here. So we'll see you next week. Same time. Same bat channel. Adios.
Take care.